I am a first-generation American student. Coming here, my parents never went to college, and really, I think it was an essential for them to know that education was guaranteed for their children. If they pursue it and they work hard, it will definitely work out for them in the long run. It was a big culture shock from Bangladesh. I remember going into classes, being the only person of color where I was in kind of like the sea of like white students, and it was a big culture shock, and it took many years for me to realize that it isn't a bad thing. I learned that the color of my skin and kind of like my background didn't define my success. It's the grit and the work you put in, and like that defines your overall long-term success here and your enjoyment in building community. UNH was my choice because I really enjoyed and loved the business program when I toured here, and I could say respectfully that I made one of the best decisions of my life when coming here. Going in my freshman year during peak COVID times, not knowing a single thing of how I wanted to attribute myself within the university. I was like lost. I would just go from class to my room. But come second semester, I broke out of my comfort zone and I started to apply myself within Paul and joining orgs like Alpha Kappa Psi and the Atkins Investment Group. Beginning of AK Psi, I was a shy kid, not knowing, lost about how I wanted to transition myself into a more professional setting. And the 6 weeks I spent with the 20 other kids who were rushing with me, I built such a strong community, and I would call them my family. Atkins is, when I walk into the ticker room, it's like, I just love the community aspect of it. Every single person in there is hardworking and driven. I think Atkins really solidified my choice within finance and specifically what I can do with the technical skills I learned. I'm very grateful for that. Establishing yourself and taking the risks of joining orgs or talking to people day by day is essentially how you can experience college in the best way possible. That's how you build a community from there, at least for me. First generation, at first it seemed like non-valuable to me. I think it was only a downfall for me. It was only going to push me down, that my parents never went to college. It was much of a disadvantage for me when going about application process, applying to college, but it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. I always think of myself going into Paul, I need to be a better version of myself as I was yesterday, because I have a duty to give back to my parents. You know, it takes a lot to come to America and just start a whole new life. I really think that first generation nails in the fact that you have to really give back and really work hard. Ultimately sets me apart when going about the things I do and the things I'm motivated about. It really is a badge of honor to think that I can carry the attributes and the skills and the leadership qualities I built within Lewiston and within my high school onto here and continually growing that. I'm very grateful for the opportunities and my background.